I myself have been a victim of George Santos and as well as other members of Congress in terms of defrauding through public donations. I had received an ethics complaint from the FEC, which I had to spend tens of thousands to defend myself. You, sir, are a crook. I know I should direct my comments to the chair. I yield back.
My colleague wants to come up here, call me a crook. Same colleague who's accused of being a woman beater. Are we really going to ignore the facts that we all have passed and we all have the media coming out against us on a daily basis?
This is what our House of Representatives has devolved to. Okay, this is the embarrassment the United States government has turned into. The two people that you heard from there, Republican Congressman Max Miller and George Santos, basically trading insults on the House floor because, I mean, what else are they gonna do? It's not like we have any issues in the country. It's not like we have any problems going on. So instead, they're gonna engage in their pathetic little catfight in the middle of the House floor. So if you're wondering why Santos is so salty, it's because of the fact that the House of Representatives was debating his expulsion today for the second time. And while Santos may be infamous for lying, he is in fact correct when he points out that Max Miller has been accused of physical abuse by a former Trump aide, Stephanie Grisham. According to Politico, or to a Politico report in July, Miller allegedly pushed Grisham against a wall and slapped her in the face in his Washington apartment in 2020.
Wow.
The report cited 3 people familiar with the incident. Miller denied the accusation in the Politico report through his lawyer. Now, Santos was also recently accused by his colleagues of sleeping with, or I'm sorry, I should say, Santos accused his colleagues of sleeping with lobbyists, which is not really a shocking revelation, but in case you missed it, here's what he said.
These people have one thing that astonishes me every single day that I'm in their presence is they all act like they are on ivory towers with white pointy hats and they're untouchable. I mean, within the ranks of the United States Congress, there's felons galore. There's people with all sorts of shisty backgrounds. And all of a sudden, George Santos is the Mary Magdalene of United States Congress. We're all going to stone this motherfucker because it's just politically expedient. I'm not running for re-election, not because this was a damning report. I'm not running for re-election because I don't want to work with a bunch of hypocrites. It's gross. I have colleagues who are more worried about getting drunk every night with the next lobbyist that they're going to screw and pretend like none of us know what's going on and sell off the American people, not show up to vote because they're too hungover or whatever the reason is, or not show up to vote at all and just give their card out like candy for someone else to vote for them. This happens every single week. Where are the ethics investigations and that? That breaks House rules.
George, we all know what's going on. Like we all know that's where you're wrong. And he referenced a report there. What he was referencing was the House Ethics Committee report, which found that he had misused donor money to his campaign on OnlyFans and Botox. Cenk.
Yeah, there's some good quality Republican on Republican crime. And of course, you need Republicans to do it because Democrats usually don't, although they've gotten better lately.
I mean, look, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Cenk. I don't want Democrats to engage in garbage like this. I mean, I want them to viciously debate each other on substantive matters and policy, but not on garbage like this. You want a little tit for tat action? Do it outside. But like, why are you wasting time with this?
Yeah, I hear you, and it would depend on the situation. If they're fighting for no reason, it's just a silly catfight. If there was a policy on the line and some guy's trying to pretend that he's like, holier than thou, then I wouldn't mind bringing up whatever I needed to bring up. So you know me, I'm a brawler, so that's my sense of it. But look, Santos in that interview is kind of half right, which is the most right he's ever been. So Congress is a den of thieves. And so, Anna, you're right, we all know, but mainstream media generally pretends that they're honorable gentlemen. And so that's why George Santos is, look, he's singled out for 2 reasons. One is he's really over the top. I mean, he's way, way over the top, right? And so, but the other reason is because it's like an easy target and goes, oh, look, we're holding the powerful accountable. We found one guy who's a clown of clowns and can't cover up his crimes well, right? And we're gonna pretend we're being tough on the powerful by just, targeting him. And you should, he deserves it amply, right? But the rest of the thieves also have tons of issues, right? But him saying like, I'm leaving because I don't want to be with these guys. Come on, George, you're back to the lies. I think there's some chance that he joined Congress because he thought, oh, this is a place I'll feel at home with a bunch of other criminals and liars. And so I think, but I will say this, Anna, and we might disagree on this. Overall, I don't think that all of this like catfights, etc., and them saying terrible stuff about each other is that bad because it's leading to more of the mask coming off.
Is it? How? How is it leading? How is it changing anything for the better? All it does, like they're so proud of themselves. That's the thing that annoys me. Like Max Miller, he's super proud of himself because like they engage in this kind of stuff, and oftentimes their involvement in various hearings that they engage in isn't about finding solutions for the very real problems that Americans are facing throughout the country. It's about having their moment to provide the illusion of governing, the illusion of governance. They're not doing anything for the American people, and that's why I'm sick of it and I'm frustrated by it, right? That's why, look, and I agree with you. If they're in the middle of debating some substantive issue, some substantive policy, and one of them decides, I'm gonna hit below the belt, and at that point you decide to use whatever opera research you have in your back pocket, I'm fine with that. But there is no substantive debate taking place. That's the issue.
No, totally. But so if you stop the movie here, I would agree with you completely.
Okay.
Because it's led to nothing good so far, and it's just led to just more soap opera BS, right?
I mean, it's entertaining. At least they're giving us that, right? But that's all they're giving us.
Yeah, but there I would join you. I'm not interested in their entertainment. I could just watch Netflix. They're supposed to actually pass laws that help our lives, and they're not even thinking about those laws. It's not even close. So then how does the movie turn around? Well, in the old days, Santos would have been singled out and he would not have fought back. And Max Miller would have gotten to be holier than thou, and nobody would have found out that he was beating someone else, a woman in that
allegedly
case.
Abusing another woman, yeah.
Right? And then every time, and now they've started to talk about donors. And that's the thing that I care most about, because that's substantive. And even the bad guys. So for example, the Koch brothers decided that they were gonna support Nikki Haley. So then Donald Trump is going, oh, these goddamn donors, can you believe how they manipulate all the politicians? And remember, 40% of the country believes every word that Donald Trump says. So when he exits, now Donald Trump takes more money than anyone else does. He's literally raised more money from those donors. As I've said a number of times, Sheldon Adelson gave him $100 million twice in 2 different elections. But his voters don't know that. But when he calls out the Koch brothers, the Democrats were so scared to call out the Koch brothers. When Harry Reid did it once, now a long time ago, they were like, oh my God, the Democratic leader mentioned a Republican donor. It was like the biggest scandal, right? And he just did this much. Meanwhile, Trump's going around and telling 40% of the country, these donors control everything. You gotta stop the donors. Even though he's a giant hypocrite about it, at least he's getting the word out. So that's why in the midst of this melee and this mess that's been created, the truth is starting to slip out in parts and pieces. And that could lead to a better ending of the movie.
I mean, look, it is, I will say there is one bright spot with this whole George Santos debacle. And that bright spot is, for the first time, the American people are learning that lobbyists aren't just effing them, they're also effing members of Congress, okay?
Yeah, and by the way, they put a twist on this saying, because sometimes the lobbyists will sleep with these members, and sometimes they get in bed proverbially, and sometimes apparently literally, and then they'll find out the information they need. So they F around and find out.
Oh my God, Cenk, that was quite the setup. Good job.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below, because that makes you a member, and members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.